Hello, and welcome to Pressing Buttons. I'm Hugo.
I'm Nick.
Another great week, another great episode coming at you. We are back after a little hiatus. We're glad to be back. It felt kind of weird not recording, but also, we need a break every now and then. But it's good to be back. We had a nice July 4th here in the States, for those that, know. And for those that don't, we just chilled. So that was pretty good. We're going to get right on it. We don't have any really housekeeping to do. It's been a slow week of video games as it usually is right after July 4th. There's really not a lot of news. A lot of the studios usually take their big breaks around this time because it's technically kind of like the halfway point of the year. It's good to take some vacation, reassess the first half of the year and then see what we're going to do for the second half, which is what we're going to do in terms of video games. I know for all of you, our loyal listeners, our early episode in 2023, we went over the video games that were going to be released for the first half of 2023, and we will be doing the same thing now. We're going to be doing the second half of 2023. We're going to be talking about some exciting games coming out that we're very interested in, and we'll give our thoughts on it. We'll give the dates that they're coming out and all that stuff, and hopefully you guys are interested in some of those too. So we're going to go started off with July, baby. So we got three big ones that we kind of put on our calendar that we're kind of excited about. One, Exoprimal, that releases July 14th. It's going to be available for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. You got Pikmin, that one releases July 21st, and that one's going to be on Switch. And then you got Remnant of the Ashes 2, or Remnant 2, as they like to call it now. That one's going to be July 25th. It's going to be on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. So obviously, Exoprimal, Capcom has been hitting it really well this year. Resident Evil 4, Street Fighter, Mega Man Battle Network, and a bunch of other stuff. They're also celebrating the 40th anniversary of them being founded. So they've been on a roll. I feel like they've been doing good in terms of the content that they're pushing out, the games that they're pushing out. They're always experimenting. I played the demo of Exoprimal, which is basically you got these mecha suits and you're hunting dinosaurs that are falling in through some space-time wormhole thing that's happening. It feels like very Dead Island and very Lost Planet, where it'll be some kooky story shit, but it looks pretty fun. I'm excited for it. I believe it's going to be on Game Pass. I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Nick's already on board. But I'll probably purchase it just because I like these type of games. They're right up my alley. Seems interesting to me. Any thoughts on this one, Nick? I know you played a little bit.
Pumped.
Did you play a little bit of the demo?
Yeah, I played the first. I think there was a more recent network test, so I didn't play with that because I played the first one and had a really good time. It was a pretty small sampling of the game, but it was just fun just to try out some of the different suits and kill some dinosaurs. So yeah, no, I think I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm probably, depending on the scope of the game, it might have been something that I would have actually just bought directly, but because it's on Game Pass, like it's a no-brainer for me. So, and I'm glad to hear that you're actually going to buy it as well, so I'll have someone to play it with.
Yeah, it's a good deal, and it looks fun. It looks just like mindless fun that you jump in with your friends and
It's I think it'll maybe scratch a similar itch to what we're doing with Diablo, where, I think Diablo, you can really lean in on the progression and the story and all that stuff. But what's been happening over the last couple of weeks with game night is it just kind of becomes a completely mindless, like jump on with some friends, run around and kill some shit. Maybe we're advancing the story, maybe we're not. It kind of doesn't matter just because we're kind of having a good time, killing things. So I think this will actually be pretty similar. So I think we're all looking forward to that.
Nice. Then you have Pikmin 4, which is coming out July 21st. Obviously, another Pikmin game for those that are big fans. Nintendo, one of their premier franchises, I would say, in terms of popularity. And that one's coming out July 21st, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people are excited for that. Me, not so much. So I will be moving on. And
it's a hard no for me, dog.
for the next one, which is Remnant 2, this one I think we're both pretty excited about. I played Remnant 1. I thought it was very unique because it's a very Dark Souls, Soulsborne vibe, but it focuses more on guns than melee combat. So that was pretty interesting. And it's also randomly generated levels, not like super unique levels, but every time you die or you go into a new area or you go back to an area, it kind of switches it up around. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and it handled pretty well. And this was definitely one that I wish I played with more people, but I don't think it was in a lot of people's consciousness when it came out, so I didn't get to play it with other people. I was playing by myself, which was fun, but I definitely saw it more as a co-op experience with other people that enjoyed it. I know you didn't play the first one, but are you excited for the second one?
I think with this one, I'll play it by ear. It looks interesting. I never played the first one. I did watch a lot of streams, and I know you talked about it as well, so I'm familiar with the game, and it looks cool. I just never got around to it. So with this one will not be on Game Pass. For some reason, it kind of feels like it should be, but it's not. Maybe it will eventually, but as of right now, I'm not planning on buying it day one. But maybe either it's your impressions or just the reviews or something will cause me to want to buy it. But as of right now, I'm probably not going to buy this one, mainly because I got the backlog is in rough shape. So I'll need the month of July to play catch up.
It's a hefty backlog, and who can blame you?
Yeah.
But yeah, this definitely does feel like a Game Pass title. But we'll see if they release it after a couple months on Game Pass. I know they really work well with Epic Games, so they might do something with Epic. I know Epic offered the first one for free for a bit, so we'll see about that. All right, moving on into August, which is pretty beefy. We have Baldur's Gate 3 that will be releasing on PC August 3rd. Atlas Fallen will be releasing on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC on August 10th. Madden 24, August 18th on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Immortals of Avium, August 22nd, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Armored Core 6, I said that weird. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, August 26th. This was actually for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. And then Sea of Stars, August 29th, which will be on PC and Switch. So pretty good amount of interesting titles on this month. Baldur's Gate obviously has been getting worked on for a bit, so that's intriguing to see. I'll save it because I wanted to actually talk about it for next month, because that's when it's going to be releasing on PS5, so we could save that for the next month. Atlas Fallen, we've been looking at that. It's very Soulsborne. It's made by, I forget the studio, but it's a pirate ship. Denji or something like that. They're the ones that made The Surge and stuff like that. So I'm excited. It's a world full of, well, it's a desert world. You get different items and weapons and stuff like that. So it's another Soulsborne. So count me in for all of these. Madden 24. Yeah, that's not for me.
I'm in.
Nick is in. He wants to play some football.
Can't wait.
Immortals of Avium, obviously we talked about the what was it, the stinker, the shooter, the
shocker,
yeah, from the last gameplay showcase that they did. That one looks
lots of interesting hand movements to cast spells.
Yeah, it's magic, bro. You gotta know how to use your hands. So that one also super interested in, just because it looks like they're doing something different. It's got the BioShock vibes, but with magic, and it looks very intriguing, very different first person magic using. Armored Core 6, obviously, Fires of Rubicon. We're big From Software fans, so this is right up there. Came as a big surprise this year, and I think this is a sleeper for a lot of people in terms of they didn't know they wanted this, but now they do. And then Sea of Stars by the makers of The Messenger. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty similar to The Messenger in terms of the quality gameplay, which I thought The Messenger was really well. Of these titles, which one are you most excited about? Which ones are ringing in your ear?
Well, the obvious one is Armored Core, because we're we're both From Software fanboys. 2022, our podcast was effectively an Elden Ring podcast, so definitely looking out for the next game from that studio. I every once in a while I'll just watch the trailer again.
It's a very hype trailer.
It's like one of the best trailers in recent memories. So I'm super excited for that game. That's probably number one. Number two would be Baldur's Gate 3. And then I think in a different month, I would be more interested in Immortals of Avium and Alice Fallen. It's just getting so crowded that I feel like I'm not going to be able to pay much attention to them. So I think those will be like my wait and see titles. And then I'm definitely going to focus on Armored Core and Baldur's Gate. Sea of Stars it's definitely something that I'm going to play at some point. It's just like a timing question. I love The Messenger. This is, I think it's like a sort of prequel to The Messenger, but instead of it being a side-scrolling slash game, platformer hack and slash type game, it's more of a like JRPG. So it's actually kind of looks like Chrono Trigger in many ways. It even actually has the composer who did the music for Chrono Trigger does at least some of the music. I don't think it's all the music, but it's at least some of the music. So that's pretty cool. Chrono Trigger is also, one of my favorite games. So a lot to be excited for that one. Again, and I think this is going to be a recurring statement every month. Is there's just like this year is so crazy. Like I just feel like there's going to be a lot of cool games that I, in a different time, would have given more attention to, or like that would have been my one game for that month. But like I just won't be able to do it, and we'll need to either just never play them or wait for them to be on Game Pass like next year when there's like more breathing room.
Yeah, it's definitely stacking up, especially with everything that's been released in the first half of 2023. Obviously, to keep the momentum, which we'll see with more of the games that we'll be talking about for the future months, it's definitely in line with, like, this is a banger year for video games. I believe at least every month or every 2 months we have like a very heavy game of the year contender, or just something that people have been waiting for a long time. But also we have some sleepers which look very interesting that could surprise a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure people will be picking up. But yeah, Armored Core 6 I think is the one outlier that like I was saying, it was a surprise announcement. We knew From was working on something, and the more they revealed about it, the more excited people got. And obviously, seeing them after their work on Sekiro and Bloodborne and all the other Dark Souls and Elden Ring, to kind of see what that translates into Armored Core and what they've learned, what they're able to do for this franchise, which will, like they've said before, it's not going to be Soulsborne, but obviously, everything that they picked up from their great work will be interesting to see. So count me down for that one. I know we have a very heavy backlog with some games that we got to finish, but I think we can squeeze this one in there if we need to. But hopefully by August, we will have finished some stuff. All right, moving on to September. We got Nick Stinker from 2022, which has been into 2023. Starfield. That one releases September 6th on Xbox Series X and PC. Baldur's Gate, again, but this time it'll be releasing on PS5. So PC for August, PS5 for September. Liza P, that one will be releasing September 19. This one will also be for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. Mortal Kombat 1, September 19th as well. This one will be Switch, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. And then Payday, September 21st, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. So another stacked month, and I think this one is the most stacked out of all of them. Well, this one in October seem to be the most stacked. But obviously Starfield, right off the bat, first weekend, a lot to prove from Microsoft, betting on Bethesda and Starfield being Xbox exclusive. Obviously, their reputation kind of hinges on it. their 30 FPS reputation hinges on it. See if it runs well on that. And usually their games come out glitchy, so they're saying this is going to be their least glitchy game. So that's another thing. I'm still a little bit hesitant on this just because I hate games that give me too much. I don't want to spend too much time on it, especially if it's like a single player campaign thing with no co-op options. It's not like you're going to be doing things with your friends. I like the worlds, but I don't know if I want to immerse myself that much into it. So that's why I'm still kind of hesitant to put my stamp on it. Obviously, you're probably going to get it because you have Game Pass, so it'll be day one on Game Pass. So I'll probably want to just hear your thoughts on it. But in terms of just like, am I super excited? Is this something that I want to get? I think I have other titles that draw me more than this. What about you? Are you playing it out of spite because you think it's gonna be your stinker, or
No,
you think it'll be good?
again, like I'm playing the game. I've played all like pretty much all of their other single player titles, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I'll be playing this on day one on PC. Who knows what the frame rate will be on that, but hopefully it's not. It's something higher than 30 frames per second. We'll see. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to the game. I think that's probably so. Like, basic, my thought process is if Starfield's good, that's going to be a lot of game to work through. So that'll keep me pretty occupied. If I ended up hating the game, then that's where Lies of P comes into play. Where it's definitely a game I'm interested in. I think you actually played the demo, right? And
Yeah, it was a pretty fun demo.
Yeah.
And then the developer did a little follow up. They heard all the feedback, especially with the dodging and certain things in the game. So the demo is really good because it gave a lot of feedback to the studio to kind of fix some things, which would make the game better. But I thought it was really good. I think it's definitely one of those that will be right up your alley, especially because it'll also be on Game Pass.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. And did we talk about Mortal Kombat at all? Did you play?
No, I didn't get into the test. I know you did.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell our listeners and viewers your experience with the test, like you told me?
I played like 3 matches, and I'm just like I can't play this game. And I don't really know why, because I played quite a bit of Mortal Kombat 11. It wasn't in a competitive way at all. Like, I don't even think I ever played online matches. Like, it was really going through the adventure mode, which I can never remember the name of. What the hell's the name of it?
Conquest or something?
Yeah, Conquest. Yeah, it was something with a K. Yeah. So the Conquest mode, which I think like most people actually didn't really like that, but like I had a fun time with it. It was kind of dumb, but I had fun. So I really put a lot of time in the game through Conquest mode and maybe just playing like arcade and things like that. So so I have like some idea of how to play Mortal Kombat, and so I don't know. There's something, just like the combat of the demo for Mortal Kombat 1 just like wasn't resonating with me. And I can't really explain why, because I'm not a fighting game expert, but I just like didn't like the movement at all. And I'm sure playing a lot of Street Fighter 6 probably has some influence on that as well, where I feel like that's just like very fluid and responsive, and the animations are amazing and all that stuff. And yeah, this Mortal Kombat 1's just more kind of rigid and janky, and it's really like assist based mechanics, which I played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3, and I had fun with them, but I just never really got into them. Like, I'm just,
yeah, but I don't think those were assists. You could just swap out characters. That was more like a character swap.
You can character swap, or you can do like assist.
Oh, okay.
You can do assist moves as well, but yeah, maybe it's not exactly the same, because I feel like in Mortal Kombat 1, it's not a full swap of the character. Like, they're just coming in and doing assist or whatever. But I don't know, close enough. But I don't know. I just never got into that. So So I was in and out of this one. Like there's no chance I'm playing Mortal Kombat 1, so that's a hard out.
Yeah, for me, I feel a little bit, bad because I do think it looks good. They just released a trailer which they showed Smoke, which is one of the ninjas from besides Scorpion and Sub Zero from the Ninja Clans. That he's gonna be one of the playable characters along with some other water guy. I forget his name, but it does look interesting to me. I've just never been like a big fighting game guy. I know I like watching the games, but in terms of playing them, I've never really been into it, except for this year when obviously we've been playing a lot of Street Fighter. I think it's just more accessible for me, Street Fighter, than Mortal Kombat. But I'm still interested in just seeing a lot of professional players, what they do with it, to seeing as well the characters, because they still got a lot of characters to reveal, I believe. Somebody on Twitter had put like, "Ooh, I wonder if they're gonna release all the ninja characters." So like Reptile and all the other guys, and Ed Boon was like, "Ooh, maybe." So I think that's a big hint that in this new world they're gonna have a lot of the ninjas because we haven't seen them in a while, and also they were fan favorites. So I am intrigued just to see the reception of it, and I know it's still Mortal Kombat. It's the community for it is huge. It's always at these major events, and I do like what they're doing with the assist character, especially because their rosters are so big, and we still haven't even seen their supposedly special characters, Homelander and Omni-Man and whoever the third one was. I forget what the third one was. We still haven't like seen those in action, so maybe that'll pique your interest back up. But I'll definitely keep my eye on it. In terms of playing it, I think I'm good with just one fighting game, and that's going to be Street Fighter, which we'll talk a little bit more towards our closing thoughts. But yeah, and then Liza P obviously will be good. Payday seems fun. Just for the aspect of playing with your friends and doing heist. I'm a big fan of Kane and Lynch and the movie Heat, so want to see that, want to experience that. All right, moving on into October, we have Detective Pikachu 2. That one's October 6th on the Switch. Forza Motorsport October 10th on PC and Xbox X. Assassin's Creed Mirage October 12th. That one's going to be PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox X, and PC. Lords of the Fallen, October 13th, PS5, Xbox X, and PC. Alan Wake 2, October 17th, PS5, Xbox X, and PC. Marvel Spider-Man, October 20th, PS5 only. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, October 20th, Switch only. And then the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, October 24th. That'll be for Switch, PS5, Xbox X, and PC. And again, another stacked month. October is looking pretty meaty. The main things that stand out to me, I would say, would be one, Assassin's Creed Mirage, just because. Don't give me that look, but
I know.
yeah, you gotta wait till I explain why it stands out.
Say your piece.
The reason it stands out is just because I feel like this is, and we talked about this before. Every time we mention Mirage, it just feels like it's the least fanfared Assassin's Creed. Like nobody's really interested in it. They're just putting it out there. It's not bringing anything new to the table in terms of new gameplay mechanics or anything like that. Obviously, they're kind of going back to the roots of Assassin's Creed, but I think Origins did that very well. So it's just weird. It's in a weird state where like nobody really cares about it, and that saddens me because I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. But the last one, Vikings, and then now this one, they're not drawing interest to me. I think eventually I will play Vikings and Mirage as well whenever I feel up to it, or maybe it's free on PlayStation Plus
You're
or something.
never playing those games.
Don't say that. I probably will. We'll see. Lords of the Fallen, super excited about that. Played the first one, and this one looks very interesting. Again, another Soulsborne. We have a lot of Soulsborne, so anytime you throw that in there, definitely know it's a pickup for me.
It's the new Metroidvania.
Yeah, definitely know it's a pickup for me. Alan Wake 2, very interested in that. I know on PlayStation Plus, if you have it, they're offering Alan Wake 1 for free. So make sure you guys download that, keep it in your library if you want to play it. I'd never played Alan Wake, so I'm jumping in on that, and we'll probably play it before this one comes out just because I heard a lot of good things. And then obviously the two big ones, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, both releasing October 20th. I know that sounds weird. Super Mario Brothers Wonder in the same sentence as Spider-Man 2 as the two big ones coming out on the same day. But you know, Mario Brothers, they always do it big, and this one's a system seller. Obviously, that was the title that they did for the last title that they did for the Nintendo Direct, and it was a lot of hype. I think this one will do really well on the Switch, and people love Mario, so that will do well in itself. And then obviously, Spider-Man 2. We've been talking about it for a bit. Insomniac, great studio from Sony. They always knock it out of the park. I can't wait just to see this world. I love what they're doing with Spider-Man, what they did with Spider-Man 1, what they did with Miles Morales, how they kind of, take their have their own spin on the characters, obviously with Doc Ock and Norman Osborn, and now Venom, and Eddie Brock's not going to be Venom, and then you have Craven as the main antagonist, and whatever that works out. But super excited for this. I think obviously the pedigree of an Insomniac kind of makes you believe that this is going to be still a great game, and you're just going to have so much to do. And I know, I believe for San Diego Comic-Con, there's going to be a panel for Marvel games, and they're going to show more information and give more stuff about it. So I'm excited for that too. Which ones stand out for you? Which ones are you hyped about?
I would have to say Detective Pikachu 2.
I was gonna bring that one up.
That's a joke.
No, I know, but hold on, real quick before you move on from that. I was gonna say something about that just because, like, the movie came out, and I did watch it. It was a so-so movie.
You mean the movie with Ryan Reynolds?
With Ryan Reynolds, yeah. It was so-so. I think this will be big just because it's Pokemon and it's Pikachu, and people love that shit. I'm just surprised that it's coming out. They should have just had it with the movie or something, or just make another movie and just make more money off of that. But that was like the most surprising thing. This will do well. Nintendo's shit does well no matter what.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Nintendo. I think the title will be fine.
It'll be the biggest seller of the
year. Yeah. I mean, to me, the highlight is it's Spider-Man 2. Like, that's probably easily like a top 5 most anticipated title for me, just for the whole year. So that's pretty much going to dominate my October. I think like Lords of the Fallen, maybe as we've discussed this throughout the episode, there's like a trend I'm observing of all of these Soulsborne games being more like wait and see for me, where it's like, oh, if it gets like a lot of buzz and hype and it reviews well, then like maybe I'll get into it. So I feel like that's going to be yet another situation with Lords of the Fallen, where I'm probably not going to go out of my way to play it on day one, but if it ends up reviewing well, maybe I'll figure out a way to play it down the road. But it did look cool. Like I didn't play the first one, but I thought this did look pretty good. So I'll just have to wait and see. I think Alan Wake 2 is the one where the trailer was interesting.
Yeah, very horror, very True Detective vibes.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because I'm a big True Detective fan, and there was something in there that was kind of reminding me of True Detective. But the more I think about it, like I just did not like Control at all. Did you play that, or
I beat it? I beat it. Okay. I enjoyed it. It's 2 different titles.
Well, I think that's what remains to be seen. They're different titles, but I feel like some of the feel of Control seems to have kind of made its way into Alan Wake, which you don't see that in the first Alan Wake at all. So I feel like there might be some Control influence in Alan Wake 2, which would be, I'm guessing, would be a big turnoff for me.
Did you play Alan Wake 1?
No.
Well, then you should play it because you have PlayStation. I'll check it out and I'll let you know.
Okay.
If it's super big of a
but either
difference.
way, like there's no Control. Like it's not like Control at all. Whereas I feel like Control has more like shooting and supernatural thing. Like magic and telekinesis and all that shit.
You think Alan Wake 2 is going to have like more?
Yeah, I mean they had it in
paranormal.
They had it in the trailer.
Well, they had an FBI agent, yeah, but like the telekinesis stuff, I don't think they're gonna have. I think it'll lean more on the horror stuff. But this is definitely one of those, that we'll have to see just to see if it leans more to Control or leans more to
Yeah.
Alan Wake.
Yeah. So if it's more like Control, then I'm probably not going to be super interested in it. I kind of dunked on this game and whatever.
Yeah, you
two
do.
episodes.
I don't know why.
Like
I
Super
don't know
Mario
why.
Brothers Wonder, like it's basically just it's the new Super Mario Brothers like look, which I think those games are just
He turns into an elephant, Nick.
filler. It's just like filler Mario. Like someone could have just made all that shit on Mario Maker, for all I'm concerned. So I'm just not interested in this at all.
Well, it seems like you've outgrown side-scroller Mario, to me, which is totally understandable. But I
Yeah.
do think Nintendo's always able to capture just what makes this game. No matter what, you might sell one of these every year, or you might sell one of these something like this every 5 years or whatever. I think they innovate enough, or they make it unique enough, where it's like, oh, this is fun, this is different.
Elephants.
Elephant Mario, who would have thought?
You can be really tall.
You didn't, yeah, you didn't know you wanted it until you
it's
saw it.
It's like the new Super Mario Brothers games, but with like some new gimmick added on top of it. So I'm just
And you get to
not-
play as Daisy, and Peach, and Toad.
Yeah,
Way more people.
yeah.
Yeah, but this will sell like 20 million probably.
No, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not worried about Nintendo. Like I'm just saying, like none of the things that they've been launching or talking about are interesting to me. Which we'll get into that next month as well. But and I think I've made this statement before. Like I'm not planning on buying anything more for the Switch. Like Tears of the Kingdom was my line in the sand of that'll be the last game I buy. No longer supporting this system. Like I'm ready. Just give me the next system. If anything, Nintendo's proven that they just like even if one of these games ends up being good, they're just gonna re-release it on the new system anyway. So like
Just wait
I
out for the
must-
Switch 2.
yeah, I might as well just wait when I have like more time in the future because it's such a busy year for games. So the one other thing is the Metal Gear Solid collection, which I'm kind of iffy on. Like I would love it if it's just like an actual awesome bundle of these games and they play like really well on PC. So that's what I hope it is. I just not 100% confident that's actually what it's going to turn out to be, but I would love to play those 3 games on PC with updated graphics and other kind of quality of life features. So that's one that's also kind of like wait and see. I'm also like not in a big rush to get it because I've beaten all those games already, but it would be good to have those in my collection that I can play around with whenever I want.
Yeah, that's a tricky one because like you, I do also want to play it. I haven't played them in a while, and also kind of want to refresh myself. But obviously, with especially Snake Eater, you have the remake coming out at some point. Probably not anytime soon, but that's coming out. And obviously, going back, you don't know if Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 kind of played to what you remember. Like obviously they were innovative for their time, but they might not be so well these days. So that's the other thing. So that was a little bit iffy for me, but if you've never experienced them, obviously you should.
Yeah. I just don't know what all we're actually getting. They haven't really provided too much information, right?
Yeah,
Even
in
with
terms of exactly which versions they are and stuff like that.
Yeah, and any like improvements or anything like that. Even with like the remake for Metal Gear Solid 3, like I didn't love what I saw in that trailer. So that for me, there's more of a question mark on that versus this, which maybe kind of sounds kind of dumb, but I don't know. We'll see what
Well,
happens.
you know what you're getting with this collection. You don't know what you're
Yeah.
getting with whatever remake, whatever the remake turns out to be. So,
Yeah.
good points. All right, moving on into November, we have Star Ocean, the second story R. That's November 2nd, Switch only for now. Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name. That's November 9th for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. Hogwarts Legacy, November 14th. That'll be Switch, as it's already been released for major consoles and PC. And then Persona 5 Tactica, November 17th. That'll be on Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. And then Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, November 17th as well, Switch only. So this one, definitely very intriguing month. Not as heavy hitting as September and October, but definitely some very interesting titles. Star Ocean, I'm super interested in. Obviously, I'm a big RPG guy, and this looks cool. I like the way that they're remaking this one in terms of the pixel graphics, but also updated 3D effects. So that looks pretty good. The Like a Dragon Gaiden, obviously the Yakuza series, formerly Yakuza series. Focusing on Kiryu. I'm super excited for this just to see his story. Obviously, with the new hero Ichiban, you kind of want to know why Kiryu is back and what he's going to be doing. So that seems pretty interesting. I put down Hogwarts Legacy here. Obviously, it already came out, but this is more in terms of curiosity, just to see if the demand is still there. It sold very well on everything. I think it's over 20 million copies sold overall. So being ported to the Switch, like my sister was playing Hogwarts on my PC because she loves the world, and she was wondering when it was coming out for the Switch, because she has a Switch. She doesn't have a PC or a PS5 or anything like that. And we all yelled at her and was like, don't get it for Switch. But there's a lot of people out there that don't have these major consoles and would want to play Hogwarts Legacy. So I just want to see it from a perspective of like, how well is it going to do? I know the demand is there for a lot of people that only mainly game on Switch, unlike us. So that'll be pretty interesting. And then obviously Persona 5 Tactica looks pretty good as an RTS. Persona 5, obviously such a great series and character. So I'm pretty sure everybody's excited for that. And then Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. I know Nick has vowed to not spend any more money on Nintendo. I have not taken that vow. I will probably be spending money on this. Super Mario RPG, definitely one of my favorite games. Never really finished it when it came out originally on Super Nintendo. I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to play something on Switch because unlike Nick, I do want to play things on Switch if they come out. What do you think of these titles for November?
I think I'm thankful that there's nothing too crazy coming out. Like I'll be able to again play other games that I've already bought and maybe spend some time with the family. So, and I think kind of same thing with December as well. So, I think Star Ocean could be interesting, but because it's launching Switch only, like I'll just wait for that to come out on PC and see if it actually is a good game. But I'm very interested by that remake approach with it being kind of like a hybrid, 2D pixel art with 3D. So if that ends up working well, I think Square Enix has a lot of other games that they could have that same, apply that same formula, which could be cool. The one that I would want is Xenogears. I'm not getting Super Mario RPG because I already own it and beat it, and I don't want to buy anything more on Switch, which we already covered. To me, like the most interesting title is the Like a Dragon title, and we've covered this quite a bit. Like I'm much more interested in the new formula. It's like the more JRPG.
Yeah, you're the Ichiban guy, and I'm the Kiryu guy.
I'm Team Ichiban. Yeah. So, and I think I've played 2 or 3 of the Yakuza games starring Kiryu, and it's more of the brawler, type combat system and gameplay. And I just get bored by it real quick. And so unless something's dramatically different, like I would expect that I'd probably have the same experience with this game. So, so I'm excited that it exists, and I hope it's good, but I'm just not sure that I'm actually going to like it that much. So I'm much more interested in the other, the Ichiban title whenever that comes out.
Yeah, and I believe Namco Bandai is going to be doing something soon, like their own little press conference or showcase or something, and we'll probably get more information on both those titles pretty soon.
That's Sega, dude.
Or Sega, whoever. I thought it was Bandai Namco for some reason. Oh,
Yeah.
Sega, yeah. And then also TGS is coming up and Gamescom. So we'll get more information for a lot of these.
Gamescom?
Gamescom. We'll get more information for a lot of these titles, especially towards the end of the year, and we might get some new surprises. And then we have December. We have Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince, December 1st for the Switch, and then Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, December 7th for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC.
they're just sending that game off to die, dude. Like,
Yeah. I mean, who knows? People love Avatar. They love the world that James Cameron has created. With the whole submarine imploding and stuff, he's back in everybody's radar. So Titanic, I don't know. It'll connect somehow, weirdly. From what we talked about the last couple episodes with the Ubisoft Forward, this didn't connect with us when we saw the trailer, gameplay, or whatever. So it's not something that I think either of us are super interested in, because it just seems like a generic action shooter with the Navi people shooting, which is still weird to me.
it's predominantly online, like multiplayer too, right?
Yeah, it's still weird to me.
So trying to jumpstart that type of game in the middle of December to me is like lunacy.
Well, maybe that's why they did it, because as we see, November and December compared to last year seems to be like a slow month. Because last year there was a lot of bangers that came out. God of War came out. And other stuff. So
we'll see. I mean, there could be. I think there's opportunity for some other titles to get slotted in.
Yeah. And then Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. You're a big Dragon Quest fan, but I don't think, like you said, Switch probably not. You'll wait till it comes out on something else.
Yeah, I can't play games at 24 frames per second.
Not anymore.
Unless it's Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, all right. And then we wanted to highlight a couple of games that we don't have a time frame for yet, but we're kind of excited to see more of, and that'll probably release this year. We have Helldivers 2, which we've seen a lot of gameplay video. We're super excited about that because the possibility for co-op gameplay is super fun in there. I played Helldivers 1 when it was a top-down shooter, and I had a lot of fun with our friends Kamui and Zero. Just having a lot of fun playing the game. So I'm excited for this one, third-person action. We have Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. That one looked very interesting to me when I saw it. Hollow Knight, Silksong, still waiting on that one, obviously. The sequel to Hollow Knight. Hopefully we get some news soon, but we got to give these developers enough time to cook a good meal. You have Skull and Bones, which I only put on here because it's a running joke. If Starfield is Nick's stinker,
It's on here? Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If Starfield is your stinker for 2023, then Skull and Bones is my joker for 2023, just because it's a joke game, which I don't think will ever release and will not be good if it releases.
I think that's right. Yeah, because I think a stinker is more of like a game that had high expectations and ends up like sucking. Whereas I feel like this one, just everyone knows it's going to be trash. So
it's the Duke Nukem of the new age. If we might have aged ourselves, but yeah, if you know about video games, you know about Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. I've always been intrigued by the artwork of Warhammer and the world, and we know Henry Cavill's signed on to do a bunch of different things for it, anime, movie, and TV shows. But the Space Marine video game, it looks really fun. It looks definitely interesting. It looks like fun action, fun, mindless, dumb action. So interested on that one. And then The Wolf Among Us 2, which will be made by Telltales. I read the comics. I forget the name of the comics. But that this was based on, which was just like darker version of fairy tales, of all the fairy tales, like Snow White, Cinderella, What's the name? Little Red Riding Hood. That's where the wolf is from.
Why did you have to drop such a hard F-bomb for?
Because I had a brain fart. I usually don't have brain farts when it comes to these.
when it comes to Little Red Riding Hood,
Yeah. If I can't remember it,
no brain farts.
I'm gonna clip that and put it on our soundboard for Discord. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I always like these, and I know the Wolf Among Us one was really well received. So, excited for this. Any one of these piqued your interest?
No.
No, not Silk Song.
No, I didn't like Hollow Knight.
Damn, what a shame. What a
Yeah,
shame.
I know.
All right. Well, hopefully we get some surprises.
What? Yeah, I feel like it's early July. I feel like there's an opportunity. I'm not like that optimistic that we're going to learn about some, giant new title that's going to blow everyone away. But I feel like there could be like a surprise or two, where like something solid kind of gets slotted in towards the end of the year. Because as you mentioned earlier, it's pretty quiet. Maybe relative to some prior years. So really like the Monster holiday title it's basically like Spider-Man 2 and probably Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Yeah.
But that's like October, so I feel like
So you have it right in time for the holidays.
there's like a little bit of time to throw something in there, but but the no time frame game is nothing super interesting. What is back half of the year? What's the one game you're most looking forward to?
I mean, I don't want to say Spider-Man just because, like, I'm expecting that. We've been expecting that for a while. We know it's going to be good. I think for me, it'll be Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, just because, like I was saying earlier, definitely a surprise. Big fans of From Software, and I haven't played Armored Core since part 3 or something, so I'm excited to get back into that world and see what they've done with it. So I would say like that's the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay. Well, I never realized how boring of a question that was because that's my answer too.
It's not a boring question. We have similar tastes.
Yeah.
That's why we have a podcast.
It was either Armored Core or Spider-Man. Like I was debating which one. I feel like Armored Core has more kind of mystery around it. So maybe that's why I'm like more excited about it. Whereas I expect Spider-Man 2, like it's going to be an unbelievable game, but I've played Spider-Man, I've played Miles Morales. It's going to be an evolution of that, which I'm on board for. But Armored Core should be, fairly new for me. I think I maybe played one of the PS2 games, but like I never got into it. And the studio now is completely different versus when they were making those games. So, and as a big fan of basically everything that they've done in recent history, I'm just really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and we as gamers have been eating good all year, and I feel like we're still going to be continuing to eat good the rest of the year. Obviously, with the games that were released from February to, I want to say, early May, Resident Evil 4, and other stuff, I forget. But I know there was
Tears
a lot
of
of
the
good...
Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6.
Well, and then obviously in
Diablo 4.
In June, all those good games. And then now September, October is looking pretty good. So it's one of the... I believe this year is one of the most recent years where, like, I think 2018 was the last time where we had like a bunch of great games. I think that was the year God of War came out, Mario came out, like a whole bunch of stuff came out. So,
do you remember when Hi-Fi Rush came out in January and people were like,
Game of the Year.
Game of the Year, this is the best game I've ever played. It's Game of the Year. I'm like, you're an actual fucking idiot if you think that game.
I remember I tried to bring that up on the podcast as a Game of the Year, and you were like, "You're an idiot."
Like there's no fucking way, dude.
No, yeah. It was a good game. It's a good game, but it's, as you can see, the whole year is stacked. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Obviously, we have what we think are going to be the ones that stand out above the rest with Armored Core and Spider-Man and Starfield and all that stuff. But obviously, we're all gamers. We like to play all types of games, and we'll just have to see which one surprise us, which one kind of come out of left field and really give us a good enjoyment. So we'll be looking forward to that, and we'll keep you guys updated if we find any, diamonds in the rough. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. And that does it for all the video games that we want to talk about for the coming year. We're going to move on straight into some closing thoughts. So because we had a little, nice little 2-week break, I would say, I was able to watch a lot of TV, play some games, watch a lot of tournaments and stuff. So I used my time wisely by staying at home and doing nothing. I did watch the other two. It's on HBO Max. It's basically about this family where one brother's like a Justin Bieber type singer who's very popular, and then his two siblings, one's an actor, the other one's doesn't really have a job. She starts off as a real estate agent, and like they're the other two. They're basically kind of riding his fame. So it's a very funny show, very like just very smart funny, where it's like there's a lot of dumb jokes, but it throws a lot of good drama in there, makes you analyze the world of Hollywood stardom, if I could say it that way. I would definitely recommend to check it out. It has its moments. I think season 1 and 2 are very like comedy based, more funny, and then in season 3 it gets more dramatic. It has very dramatic moments while still being super funny. So check that out if you haven't. I think you guys will enjoy it. And then I've also been watching Warrior, which is a show on HBO Max as well, or HBO or Max, whatever it's called. Max. I keep saying HBO Max. They should have kept that name. But yeah, it's on Max. This one is set, I believe, in the like 1920s San Francisco, California area, about Chinese immigrants and the gangs. It's got a lot of kung fu. I love it. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. It's based, well, this is at least what the first episode said, on the writings of Bruce Lee. So that's kind of funny, but you can definitely see the influence with a lot of kung fu battles. It's pretty fun, and it's interesting. And more Asian American and Asian representation. It's always good. So if you haven't seen that and you like action, I would recommend it. I think it's the John Wick of hand-to-hand combat, whereas John Wick is the John Wick of gun combat, if that makes sense. And then in terms of video games, I completed Street Fighter 6 World Tour, which is basically the RPG, the story aspect of it. Pretty fun stuff. I was able to unlock my second alternate costume for the character that I want to use, Manon. So I'm super excited about that. I know a lot of people gave shit to the World Tour mode, saying that it was kind of like the least favorite part or just like not the best part of Street Fighter, but I thought it was enjoyable. You're just going around beating up people, doing errands and shit, and also interacting with all the main characters, the main fighters, the 18 fighters that you're going to be playing as, and they're teaching you their moves and you're getting used to that. So I think they did a really good job actually of presenting that to you, and you kind of basically learning from who you want to play as you go along and proceed through the story. So that's pretty fun. And it got hard towards the end because, those CPU players, like, they were kicking my ass, man. They were kicking my ass. And then Final Fantasy 16, I completed it. I think it's a great game. I know a lot of people on the internet weren't satisfied. They don't think it's a Final Fantasy, but I think it's definitely a Final Fantasy. It's just a different Final Fantasy where it's more third-person action. The RPG elements, there's not that much there. But the story, I think, is what makes it a Final Fantasy story. And also the side quests. I know the side quests aren't very elaborate. Nothing you would see in older Final Fantasies or something like The Witcher. They're not that elaborate, but I do think in terms of what you get out of them, what you learn about the people you're doing the side quests for, and the world, and all the other characters, I think it's very deep. I would definitely, if you're playing the game, I would recommend to do the side quests just to kind of get a lot of background on a lot of the characters, and you might feel different for certain characters. You obviously see what they're doing, why they're doing it, and stuff like that. I think they did a good job in terms of presenting the people's background. Maybe what you do during the quests aren't that great, but what you get out of it, I think it's really great. I'm gonna let it go for now, and then eventually I'll probably play the Final Fantasy mode on it, which is the new game plus, where it gets a little bit harder, but you earn better spells and better gear and stuff like that. But I'm all Final Fantasied out. But great story, I think, on my end. Standout characters, I think his uncle is funny as hell. He's just hilarious. If you've gotten to meet him, I think you'll enjoy him. The icon battles, I think, were really, really well done. I know a lot of people have had conflict with that, but it reminds me of God of War 2 and God of War 3, those big, massive battles. Even the new God of War with the big dragon battle, like, it reminded me of that. So, like, I really, really enjoyed that part, and I thought they were unique enough where it didn't feel like a slog. So, and then the other thing is I've been watching a lot of Street Fighter tournaments, the Can Opener series, hosted by one of our guys that we like, one of the commentators, Yipes. He does a Can Opener series on Tuesdays. A lot of people have been preparing for Evo, which will be in August, first week of August in Vegas. Rashid will be a character, the first DLC character, which everybody's been shitting on.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, can't believe it. Nick was saying that he wasn't going to be probably available to be played at Evo, but the rule is if he's out for more than a week, then he's playable. So that's going to be very interesting just to see this new character get dropped a week and a half before
There's definitely going to be people grinding the hell out of that character for 2 weeks just so that they can so people won't have time to figure out the matchup. And so there's definitely a chance that a Rashid helps someone get through the tournament because of that. So.
And there's a lot of salty people, but there's also a lot of people who played a previous version of Rashid that are super excited. I will say this, I do like where they're heading with the art direction. And this is one of the things that Nick and I have been saying since, we officially saw where Street Fighter 6 was going. Obviously, the reveal of 6 was super weird, and we were like, "What the fuck is this?" with the logo and with Ryu's chest and all that stuff. But when you started seeing more of it with the graffiti and the art style and all that stuff, we warmed up to it and we enjoy it more. And I do like the way that they presenting him. I like his outfit. I like his moves. I like his whole vibe. So I think they're still doing really well with all their characters and in this new kind of setting and the way they look and all that stuff. So props to them. I can't wait to see all the other characters are going to be releasing and how they introduce them into this world. So that's it for me on my closing thoughts. What about you, buddy?
Yeah, I've actually been watching quite a bit of Street Fighter tournaments as well. There was CEO. Which
CEO was another banger too.
A fucking Blanca one. I was like,
not a Blanca main, but he's Dominican.
Not a Blanca main, but
Mena RD, baby, bring it home.
There you go, Dominican representation. But it was good. It was fun to watch that, and then the can opener. I think there's maybe one other big one, and then Evo.
ICFC, I believe, is the other one. That's like they do that one as well every Tuesday.
Yeah, that's every week.
Red Bull one, Red Bull Kumite that Big Bird won with Marissa.
That just happened, yeah. I watched a little bit of that as well. But yeah, there's lots of good Street Fighter 6 content out there. I'm a little bit I'm really looking forward to Evo. I still can't believe. I think maybe going back to end of last year when we were trying to make plans of which events do we want to go to and things like that. We were like, oh yeah, let's skip this Evo because
there's no way
we knew the Street Fighter 6 release date or anything like that. We're like, yeah, there's no way that Street Fighter 6 is going to be a main game at Evo in 2023, and it is. And then also they're introducing a new character who he was kind of a challenge for a lot of top players in Street Fighter 5. So I'm just curious how much of that's gonna kind of play out with someone be able to figure out all his gimmicks and people not knowing the matchup and that potentially disrupting the tournament, so to speak. So, but we'll see. It'll be fun.
Well, real quick to that, I think What I did want to say, which I think we both agree on, is that this is one of the most balanced, I think, fighting games that we've seen released. They haven't really done a patch to kind of balance everybody out because there hasn't been a need. And from what we've seen in the competitions, there's a good variety of characters. Obviously, you have like certain characters that people use a lot, so you're still seeing a lot of Lukes. I think Guile's like a big one too. Jury's a big one, and then Manon for those people that like her. But you still see a bunch of the other characters, so that's pretty good. I think it's a healthy pool.
Yeah, I think maybe professional players may or may not agree with that. I'm actually not sure. I mean, I agree with you. Like just based on what I've seen, it seems to be like a pretty good mix. And then maybe I'm just a little bit butthurt around Mena just like spamming.
I think you are butthurt.
Spins and
But
Blanca to win.
he was using Luke for a while.
Yeah.
You gotta have a pocket pick just in case.
It's specifically Blanca. Yeah, the Blanca was just upsetting, but ignoring that, I think there has been like a healthy mix. So it's not just like everyone using Luke or, I know in Guilty Gear, like that got like real bad where like everyone was just using like one or two characters and it's just like, it becomes like not interesting to watch. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it's so far pretty good. I'm sure they will, start patching the game more, particularly as they introduce more characters. But yeah, for now it feels pretty good, and which is impressive because the game just launched. Maybe they got a lot of good data. They did do at least 2, if not 3 network tests, right?
They did one network test and then 2 betas.
Okay. So maybe I'm sure they got a lot of good data with balancing and things like that during those. But yeah, it's been a good launch for sure. Other than that, I've also been playing Final Fantasy 16. Haven't beaten it yet, so maybe I'll reserve final comments for when I actually beat the game, and maybe we can kind of do a deep dive on what we liked and what we disliked. I think I can tell you right now, I probably don't like this game as much as you do.
Damn.
which is like I'm like devastated by that. Like
me too.
Yeah, like I'm not happy about it at all. So the good news is, and I think in prior episodes I was complaining around the visual fidelity and performance of the game. They did do a patch which included a number of things, but the most important one for me was being able to remove the motion blur. So that actually helped quite a bit. So I can now play the game and not like want to throw up. So that's a positive thing, but the frame rate mode is still not good. And so I have to play it on quality mode, meaning that I have to play like a fast paced character action game at 30 frames per second, which it's to me, that's just like disappointing no matter how you judge it. So that's still disappointing. And then I have a whole other list of things that I'm kind of find frustrating about the game. But
yeah, let's leave that for the review then.
Okay. But I like a lot of the characters. The voice performances I think some of the, like, not just some of the best in Final Fantasy, but like some of the best in games. Like the performances are incredible.
The cinematics are fucking amazing too.
Yeah, like the cinematics and kind of like the big hype icon battle, so like that's cool, but like everything in between is kind of less cool. And I have some other
I think you just overhyped yourself too much. You were like, "Oh my god, Final Fantasy," and I was Final Fantasy.
I mean, the demo. It was the demo. Like I was like very excited because it's a mainline Final Fantasy, and I'm a Yoshi P fanboy, and I was like very excited about what he was going to do with the mainline kind of franchise, and then the demo was just like, oh my god, like what the fuck, like the best demo I've ever played. So it's like I think there was a lot of good reason for why I was so excited about the game, but now that I'm like, I don't know, what would you say, like 80% through it?
Yeah, I would say you're
Based
at
on where I
8%.
told you, before we recorded, I kind of told you where I was in the game. So
Yeah.
yeah, call it 80% done. It's a good game, but it's not a slam dunk game of the year. It's not my favorite Final Fantasy, by any means. And that's
I would
where
say it's at least my sixth favorite Final Fantasy.
oh, shit. Okay.
Well,
That's
it's
not- I mean,
that's
that's not that
there's
good.
there's a whole lot of factors that if we ever do like a Final Fantasy deep dive where we rank these and explain why, it's a whole different factors. You got to think
Okay.
about it, but I would say it's like my sixth. Obviously, there's a lot of other ones for different reasons, but
What the game is doing is making me appreciate other Final Fantasy games.
yeah, that's
Where
the
it's
other
like-
thing too.
yeah.
Or like I know a lot of people were like, "Hey, if you like this Final Fantasy, Stranger Paradise is pretty good," and it's a whole other thing.
I was actually going to ask you that as I was playing this game. I'm like, I wonder which game Hugo likes more, this or Stranger of Paradise.
It's tough. I story wise, the story on this is better because it definitely.
The story is definitely better. Like voice acting and like the presentation. Like, of course, that's going to be like way better. But
But combat wise, I think they're on par with each other because
Yeah.
they're very similar, especially with the moves. I do think there's more depth to Stranger Paradise because you have all the classes. You have like 20, 25 classes
it's
or whatever.
insane.
Yeah.
I just leaned into one
Yeah. No, I use all of them.
combination. Yeah,
So it's pretty fun.
yeah. But yeah, maybe we'll see. I don't know if that's gonna be. Hopefully, that'll be next
Yeah,
week. But if not, in a couple weeks, we
Well,
can
We can also do
talk
like
more
a
about Final Fantasy.
yeah, we could do a deep dive on our Final Fantasy stuff down the road, which I think would be fun for us and our listeners. And we would also love to hear what they think about it.
Yeah,
Anything else?
that's it.
all
That's
right.
it. The only other seed that I'll plant is I absolutely want to watch Righteous Gemstones.
You gotta watch it, brother. You gotta start it.
I don't know how this happened, but every once in a while, I don't know how much you use YouTube, but there'll just be like weird YouTube recommendations that just start happening, and you just kind of go into this rabbit hole. And my most recent one is like just anything with Danny McBride. It's just like Danny McBride, like interviews and whatever. And
Yeah, that has come up on mine too. for some reason.
maybe
And I haven't watched any like clips of the Righteous Gemstones on
yeah,
YouTube.
me neither.
It's weird.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. So I have no idea how that happened, but that has happened. And then I'm just like, okay, well, I loved Eastbound and Down. Oh yeah, it must have been some random Eastbound and Down thing that I watched, and that was the catalyst. But love that series. Love Vice Principals. So I probably love Righteous Gemstones. I just never watched it for some reason. So I gotta get on that.
I'll tell you right now, Baby Billy and Judy will be like two of your favorite characters. Walter Goggins is fucking hilarious, man.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Can't wait. Justified coming out later this month, man. Oof. I'm
There you go.
excited for that. Look at that. All right, I think that we've spoken long enough. I guess 2 weeks of not talking, not doing the podcast, kind of brought us back. We're at an hour and 9 minutes. So I think that's enough for us.
Before editing for time.
Yeah, before editing for time. So I think that's enough out of us. But we are glad to be back. Make sure you guys are following us. Go to our website, pressingbuttons.gg. You will get access to all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. And then you can also get access to our Discord, so you guys can join in there and chat with us and have some fun with us. Even though we're horrible at social media stuff. And don't get me started on Threads that just came out. I don't even want to make an account for that, but I'm probably going to have to and not use it. But yeah, all right, make sure you guys are following us so you guys can keep updated. And it's good to be back and recording with you guys. And we'll see you on next week's episode. I'm Hugo. Bye.
I'm Nick. Later.